little bit off. But
good evening, everybody, and welcome along to PSGL Season 27. This is the F2 tier. We are at the final round before the Christmas break. This is round 3 at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's been held since 1950 and still remains as the longest track on the F1 calendar. My name is Jess, and joining me, as per usual, for the final time in 2020, we have got Dan. How are you doing tonight, Dan?
yeah, I'm doing great tonight, Jess. Cannot wait for the Belgian Grand Prix. It was a brilliant one last time out. Unfortunately, you had issues with your El Gato, but it was a brilliant finish. It saw Rafa, who was leading the championship at the time, spin across the line and ended up DNFing. I believe he still did pick up some points, but it was really unfortunate for him. PR1 will, who is in the lobby today, he will be able to try and challenge for his win again that he got last season at this circuit.
Yeah, definitely. It was intermediate conditions as far as I remember as well, but it's definitely going to be different tonight. Will has had a podium in the first race, and in the second race he was down in fourth position, so he's going to be getting close, I think, to an elusive win this time today, probably. But there's some people that can probably stop that here at Spa-Francorchamps today. As we look at the driver standings, last week we saw our championship leader Lee once again take that elusive win, and he's on the maximum points you could possibly come across, 32 points, excluding 2 points for the fastest lap, because don't think anyone got that extra point. Then it's Will in second, Benjamin in third, Mitchie was in fourth in the standings, and we got Fabi Joint, who got his first podium of the season last time about. He was very, very happy about that. Ballina also got his first podium as well. Both Fabi and Ballina have changed teams. Obviously, this BGG is no longer an esports team, but Fabi can't be bothered to change gamer tags due to the money it costs to do that. So that's why he's still BGG Fabi on our screens anyway. Luca in 7th, Adler 8th, Tableclan 9th, Tomato finished, actually is in 10th in the standing. We've got CC Braylamp, Caden Forms, Kazooie and Greeny, and everybody else yet to score. And looking at the constructors quickly before we head to qualifying, we've got Renault, who are on top of the standings, with Lee actually having most of the points from Renault there, with Kazooie scoring 1 point after last week. And we've got AlphaTauri in second, with both AlphaTauris in the top 10. Williams in third, McLaren 4th, Racing Point 5th, Red Bull 6th, Alfa Romeo 7th, Ferrari 8th, Mercedes 9th, and Haas yet to score. I thought Haas scored a point last week, but it may have been due to the penalties where they didn't score any points. But yeah, only time will tell. So without further ado, let's go straight to qualifying. And one thing to mention, actually, which may shake up the championship a little bit, it may not. Lee Finlay, who is in the pits at the moment, he's got a qualifying ban due to him blocking Mish in his qualifying lap in Britain last week. So all his hopes of a win may be off tonight, but we'll have to wait and see. Anything can happen, and he spoke to us last week. It's one of his favourite tracks, but yeah, you do not want to have a qualifying ban, but it may not be too bad around this track.
Yeah, well, you can never doubt Lee Finlay, especially when he is the championship leader. Hopefully he will get a lap to go out and just lock in his setup, because I know that is allowed to happen. As long as he doesn't set a time, he should be okay, but hopefully he's been given that freedom just so he doesn't get stuck on a preset setup. There we go. It's a bit of a mouthful to say that, but yeah, we got some laps coming out. Last season champion is on a lap at the moment. Shazoo Tomato, unfortunately, he's invalidated on this one. But Commenter Bean is making his first appearance in this season. Of course, he was in F1 last season out in season 26. But now he's down to F2, and this is his first Grand Prix. He's just coming up towards the bus stop chicane to finish off his lap. It's looking all right so far. Let's see what he can do. As never mind, he comes into the pit lane. Thank you so much for that one. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's always a curse, I think, when we commentate on a lap and then they don't tend to do well. So I think that's a thing with this league as well. Not sure what the weather's going to be like in the race, but as I said, Belgium can have some very changeable conditions around here. I think it tends to rain more than not, even though when I was commentating F7 yesterday, it was dry for both sessions. Here's last season's race winner, P1R1_Will, on a lap right now as he goes and heads. Actually, no, he's on his outlap, but anyway, he's one of the favourites to win tonight. Luckily, he invalidated his out lap and not his fly lap, I've got to say. But I believe he was the one who was qualified outside the top 10 and made his way near the top to actually score a win, or it might have been he was near the top. I can't remember. But yeah, Will drove a fantastic race in Belgium. It's one of his favourite tracks on the game, so I think he must have been very glad that it's on the calendar here today. And this could be obviously the chance where we could see a different race win, and Will is definitely one of those candidates as well. Tomorrow was very close to getting a win last week, so is Fabi as well, but we got Benjamin on pole at the moment, already in the 140s. I think we can see higher time, well, quicker times than that as we speak, as all drivers are on using no assist at all in this league. And Kometa Bean is replacing name changer, and we've got someone, I can't remember who's replacing Simo. I will need to actually check who's replacing Simo for tonight. It's one of the Haas cars. I'm just trying to find him now. It's World Rally, who I remember commentating on in the Trovo League. So great to see his debut in PSGL F2. Obviously, we got Simo and Name Changer competing in the Challenger Series right now, so that is why they're not racing tonight. And on behalf of PSGL, I'd like to wish those two the best of luck, and all other PSGL drivers racing in the Challenger Series tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that's quite interesting to note is that it was actually meant to be Speedster replacing Semo tonight, but some reason he just dropped out right at the end. So World Rally got to come into the seat. Of course, I work really closely with World Rally, being a part of the same esports teams in Team Mentalism, along with Kazooie as well. So I've worked very closely with these guys, and yeah, they're very hard working. So World Rally should come out in full force and definitely be one to be slept on. He's not too known in the league racing community, but I think he has some of the best potential out of anyone on this grid to actually take a win under everyone's noses.
I definitely agree, and to be honest, World Rally was a name that I sort of glimpsed over before the start of the TRS F1 race in Monaco, which was where he made his appearance, but then he actually had a really good qualifying in the AlphaTauri car which he was in, and absolutely shocked us. He got one of the driver of the day thoughts of the stream, which was actually quite nice as well, and I think everyone was very, very proud, including you. Obviously, you were in charge of Team Mentalism at the time as well, so yeah, it's great to see him in here as well, as a lot of people on their outlaps once again, just so they can get a feel for the track. Everyone's on the soft compounder tyres. I haven't seen many people on the medium compounder tyres at this stage, which strongly suggests we could be on for an interesting race, maybe a wet start to the session. I do hope not, because rain doesn't throw out the best in terms of racing, but around Belgium it's okay, it's not too bad. We did suffer some rain in XBGL on Thursday, where it did throw a little bit of chaos for some of the drivers, but it still throws some great battles, but it was turned into a bit of a procession and towards the middle half of the Grand Prix. We're running on board with Caden Forbes as he goes toward past Stavolo 2 and into Blanchimont now. He's saying purple set to 2. I wonder if it's just the game being glitched, or if he's actually purple in set to 2, but it looks like he's alright. He's going to get probably a bit of slipstream from the car in front as well, as they all head towards the start of the bus stop chicane. Luckily, Benjamin, our current pole sitter, luckily moves out the way. Caden Forbes comes across the final corner. Can he get into the 140s? It's going to be close. 141.1. That puts him in P7, just behind World Rally, actually, Dan.
Yeah, it wasn't a terrible lap from Caden Forbes there, and we got Kometa Bean finishing up his run. He was about 2/10 quicker than Caden Forbes in that second sector, so he could definitely be on for a good display here. He's just come through the bus stop chicane now, opening up the steering and rising up the gears. He runs out of ERS on the line, but there it is. That's a 141.005. It was so close, 5 thousandths of a second off of being in the 1 minute 40s, but only Midnight and Benjamin are the ones who can make it in. And speaking of Midnight, he's also just joined a new team recently. He's joined Shazoo, of course, as I believe he was still a part of the BDG roster before it unfortunately disbanded. So now he is a part of the Shazoo team, and he's going to get guidance from all those guys. And some of them are in the top tier, of course, in PSGL F1.
Yep, indeed, and oh, look at that. Kazooie were just top the timing sheets there in the Renault, of course. Renault are leading the Constructors' Championship, and what a good lap from him so far. And we're starting to see times tumble and starts to get quicker and quicker as the track evolves as Mitchie is on pole position with a 140.8. And just to point out with what happened over the weekend, it's just a shame that BGG has disbanded. We do know how much work Connor did put into BGG itself, so thanks to him for all his hard work. And because of the disbandment, unfortunately, there's not going to be any money prizes this season anymore for the top leagues, for PSGL, F1, F2 and XBGL, sadly, which is a bit of a shame. But for most of these drivers, they're not here for the money. They're here just to have fun. And I still think PSGL will be one of the top PS4 stroke PS5 leagues of in a while, actually. So it will still be one of the best leagues, but the only difference is there'll just be no money prizes. But it's nice to still see a full 20-car grid, even with that money incentive now gone off the table.
Well, I'll tell you what, if drivers were here just for the money, they can get out of here, because I have no doubt in my mind that PSGL is going to remain the top league on the PS4 platform. Like, Connor has put in so much work into BDG, and that can just translate right over to PSGL. Of course, he does need to think about himself, and he can take some time off, because, you know what, he deserves it. He worked so hard to make sure everything was running smoothly in the team and in PSGL as well. So yeah, if you're in it just for the money and you're not happy, then there's no money on the table anymore. That's tough. Either stay and race or get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And looking at the times at the moment, the top 16 separated by 8 tenths, and the top 12 separated by just 2 tenths. But look at the gap between Benjamin and Midnight at the moment. 8,000 of a second separating them, and the top 5 separated within a tenth, which is absolutely crazy if you think about it. And as far as I remember, as it was spoken at the beginning of the season, literally any one of these guys, I think there was 30 people considered for the top tier of PSGL, but only 20 drivers could make that top tier. And pretty much I think more people would probably be added to it if it was that amount. I kind of wish there was 30 cars on the grid, but that would probably be very messy in Belgium. So luckily PSGL F2 is here, and it's still closer than ever, I've got to say, and these guys are even hungrier to potentially get into F1 next season as well. Will somehow has not set a lap yet, and that is very interesting as well. Maybe he's going to go for the alternate tactic like he's done in the first 2 races, which is gone well, I think, him doing that, and you never know what could happen as well. He'll be joining the likes of Lee if he does that as well, and people outside the top 10. CC Brain, the only driver not to set a representative lap time out of the 17 that has set a lap time. I'm guessing CC Brain is struggling with his setup by the looks of it. Will comes across the final corner. He's running out of fuel and he goes in the pit. Oh my goodness, not doing well with commentating on laps. So that means the only person on a lap is Cometa Bean in the Alfa Romeo, as he's about to start his one. Interestingly, he's going out now rather than with 3 minutes left to go. But with it being such a long lap, 7 kilometers to be exact, you've really got to get out as early as you can.
And yeah, maybe he could have gone out a little bit later as a Williams car. I believe Tomato, our champion at the moment, of course, reigning from season 26. He, I believe, is just being out of the pit lane. Oh, that might actually be Will coming to the pit lane. Do apologise about that one. But he's trying to avoid the traffic here. And, I mean, he could have come out later, but he's probably not going to face the issues with the navigating through the car. And he's actually just coming to the pits. He might have just wanted to do an installation there. But, yeah, like Tomato and Will, they've really just struggled to get off the mark in this session. And you might say that it's for the alternate strategy. Around Belgium, it's not that strong. You know, you can do soft to medium and be quicker than the medium to soft runners. This is a track where you do want to be at the front, most likely, because yeah, it's. I think they do want to be up there. I'm struggling to get everything out, and Lee Finley's rejoined the session. I don't even know if he wasn't in it, but hopefully, I'm hoping that there's no issues like it was in the 24-hour event over the weekend, where there was issues with drivers rejoining the session. So yeah, I'm praying that all is well here. Yeah,
and I do believe that I think Lee will probably just do 1 installation lap. So I don't think he did get to do an installation lap, I don't think. So he is allowed 1. Anyone who does have a quali ban during any race this season is allowed to do an installation lap, and then they'll need to go straight into the pits, and then that will be it, and then they could just retire from the session, and that will be their qualifying ban registered, as Ballina is on his out lap 2 as well. I don't think there's going to be many issues, I think, with the service tonight, fingers crossed as well, as table. I think everyone's on their out lap apart from Kometa Bean, and as he's just coming out of the pit lane. So everyone who's meant to be out is out, which is great to see. They've come out at the right time at this moment in time. As to be honest, the main corners I've been to keep an eye on tonight, obviously El Rouge and Radion. We've seen many safety cars in other tiers, in particular F7 yesterday. And one place where I've seen a few corners of safety car is heading towards Bruchel and obviously Lecom as well, coming up here as well, especially around this corner due to the understeering nature. I think you need to have a very good setup in order to make sure you handle these corners well. But I know these F2 drivers, I think they may handle it a little bit better, but we'll have to wait and see. But I usually find these corners heading towards No Name very, very challenging indeed, even on the wheel. So I wonder how these drivers are going to handle it as we head with 1 minute and 15 seconds left to go in the session. So yeah, a bit of a commentator's curse my end from earlier on. Hopefully it doesn't happen tonight, as Petrox is about to start his lap as well. Petrox, he didn't do too bad last week. I wonder, you know, he needs to have some luck, I think, this season. Could this be the race where he steps up a bit?
Yeah, I definitely think he's been involved in a couple of incidences, and that's not really helped him in this season so far. He's just done a little bit of a slower time through the first sector. I don't believe he's the furthest up on a lap. I believe it is Ballina all the way up in sector 2, just coming up to Stablo. He's looking pretty decent on this lap so far, and you can see he's 2 tenths up through the second sector. Apparently he's been doing 0.1s in practice, but as Big C put it in the chat, practice times do not mean anything when it comes to the real thing, so he's got to throw that all out the window and hopefully set a good lap. He's on for a decent time at the moment. Could be challenging his teammate Benjamin at the front, who's still continuing to impress in this season. What can Ballina do? Crossing the line, coming out the final corner, opening up the DRS, and now running out of ERS to cross the line. It is a 0.7, and he is just 300ths quicker than Benjamin. Stop the clock, because it is a 1-2 for AlphaTauri.
Similar to last season, actually, we've seen an AlphaTauri do well, and that's Will. And Will, unfortunately, is not in the AlphaTauri. He's in the Williams, and Will has just invalidated his lap time, so he'll be joining the likes of Lee at the back. And due to the fact that he is 20 in the standings tower on the left-hand side, he will be remaining 20th. So Lee will be starting 1 place higher than he would have thought due to the game being very, very lucky. So I think Lee will be not too shabby about, be very happy about that. As Lamp goes to the top of the timing sheet, that is an interesting sight to see, as we've got a few more people coming across the line. We have got, I believe, Midnight coming across the line. We've got Williams as well, 140.6 for Midnight. We've got Tomato coming across the line in 5th position as well. Next to come across the line, I believe, is one of the Renaults, and that is Kazooie in 9th position. He goes in 9th place. He just set fastest in sector 3. Benjamin comes across the line. Wow, a 140.4. He's absolutely flying right now on the circuit. I think next would be Fabi, who could only manage 16th. And then we've got one of the Alfa Romeos coming across the line. I think that's Kometa Bean. Yes, it is, coming across the bus stop chicane as we speak. Let's see what time he can do. His first race in F2 this season. And 2nd place. Wow, that is a pretty good lap time from him. So it just leaves Ballina. It was a 1-2 before everyone was setting their lap time. Sableclan, unfortunately, could not improve. He unfortunately goes into the pit lane, and Ballina has invalidated. So yeah, unfortunately, he is not going to make it now for Tauri 1-2. But this is a really, really interesting lineup we're seeing in the top 3. Benjamin on pole position. Don't forget, this is his first season in PSGL altogether. He was put up to F2 straight away. He's definitely been impressing throughout the whole season, remaining consistent, and that is very, very great to see for him. So that is his first pole position, and Kometa Bean, making his return to PSGL, is in 2nd place. Didn't do quite well in F1 last season. Maybe the step down to F2 probably will help him.
Yeah, so it's been a pretty decent lap from Bean there, but he was nowhere close. He was a 10th off of Benjamin, who has just got that passion to do better. He's a very talented driver. I've raced alongside him before in other leagues, like in F1 2019, and he's not been as quick as he is now. He is absolutely incredible. He's done so well in this qualifying session, and I'll be congratulating him on this lap later on after PSGL, of course, after the race, because why would you want to miss out on the race? It's going to be brilliant today. Hopefully Benjamin and Bean can have some good fights. Two guys you wouldn't normally see fighting it out. You know, you would expect guys like Mish and Lee Finley, who's all the way down in 19th on his qualifying ban, and PR1 Will locking out the top.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got... that's interesting. We've got an overcast session, which may mean something to the drivers, but it may not mean anything to us. I've got to say, you can't see on the screen because you could see the strategy at this moment in time. But anyway, we are gonna just about to head to have a look at the track map. So the track map is the track is 7 kilometers long, and it has quite a few DRS zones for overtaking. 19 turns, 10 to the left and 9 to the right. And one at the start finish straight, one at El Rouge is where the DRS zones are placed. And Valtteri Bottas set the race lap record here back in 2018. It may have changed since then as well. And the 3 lowest compounds are brought to the Pirelli range for tonight's race, which is the C3s, the C2s and the C1s. And the delta's not been too bad between the tyres, actually, as you can see on the graphic. 6 tenths between the softs and the mediums, and 6 tenths between the mediums and the hard. So it's not that much of a difference, to be honest, compared to other tracks. So we're going to look at the alternate strategy runners, well, people outside the top 10. Let me just change scenes a minute as well. There we go. As well, I'm not really that surprised then. Everyone from 11 is medium, 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 medium. There we go.
Yeah, well, I guess that is what you would expect. I would think these guys are going to come in around about lap 13 to 14 to 15. That is probably it's going to be their sweet spot to take off those medium tyres to go onto the softs. As for the soft runners, I would say they're going to come in around about lap 7 or 8. That is just from what I'm remembering off the top of my head. But yeah, that is favourable. If you're starting outside the top 10, go onto the medium tyres. You'll be pretty quick off the start, and then well, you obviously won't be as quick as the soft runners, but you can still keep pace with them. And then later on in the race, you go back onto the soft tyres. When everyone else is on wearing out mediums, you'll have a lot more pace and you'll be a lot lighter on fuel. So overall, that is the advantage of starting outside the top 10. But then again, you do not have that track position. There it is. I forgot the term just quickly there, but yeah, Benjamin on pole. Of course, all the top guys in the top 10 have to start on the tyre that they qualified for. In everyone's case, that is the soft compound.
Yeah, the soft compound, well, they have to, really, to be honest. The game won't let you do it otherwise. I'm looking at drivers that have done well in this qualifying, as well as Benjamin and Kometa Bean. Luca having a great performance. He almost had a podium in Australia, but it was taken away from him due to Will getting a warning removed, well, a penalty removed from Australia, which promoted him up. So Luca will be hoping to get a podium for real this time as well. Midnight is back to form as well. Like I said, he's in Shizou now, which is, I think, great to see. I'm very glad that he's found a team to be on, and hopefully he can make his first race with Team Shizou. Very, very proud for him, as Kazui also had a good qualifying session. Lamp as well. I believe Lamp wasn't here. Was he there? I can't remember if he was here last week or not, but Lamp, I feel like, is going to have a very good result today. I can definitely feel it, as all the drivers are ready to start the race. The majority of people are about to go into their grid slots. I think we'll just be waiting for the last few drivers to go in, as we've got Lee and Will taking a very long time to go into the grid. I think they're going to try and keep the other drivers on their toes, because they'll be on cold tyres for a little bit as well, which is not what they want to be. But yeah, Lee, the championship leader, down in 19th. Will, last season's race winner around Belgium, in 20th. Very, very fitting, I have to say. What a coincidence between those two. But we're about to get started. Hopefully it won't be as much of a hold as some of the races we did in the 24-hour. But anyway, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. Who's going to get the best getaway tonight? Is it going to be Benjamin, or is it going to be Bean? Not much of a hold this time, and we are underway, as Benjamin has got a very big good start into turn 1, and it's huge contact between the Ferrari and the McLaren down at the back. Everyone Somebody else, I think, has got away. Fine, heading towards turn 1. I can't remember which it was. I think it was between Hadler and Caden Forbes. They're all the way down in 19th and 20th at the moment. The timings are changing at the moment. It's not Table Clan in the lead. It's still Benjamin and Cometa Bean, but we still have the likes of Luca trying to go for a move past these two as well, heading into the Camel Straight. They might go 3 wide here. Please don't go 3 wide, because it's going to be absolutely chaos. As the top 6 are running away with it right now as they all head towards Bruchal at the moment. But yeah, Benjamin just got a very, very good start. Here comes Midnight trying to fight against Luca. Around the inside he goes in under steer central here at the moment. He can't quite make it done. But yeah, that was just a very unfortunate start from Caden Hadler. I didn't see what happened from the camera. It looked like a very weird angle, unfortunately. But yeah, that was the most interesting start to a Grand Prix ever. Everyone else made it through turn 1 in Rouge fine. It was just the carnage happened before we even got to turn 1.
Yeah, what looked like to me was that Caden Forbes and Hadler both got really good starts, and then they caught someone in the middle. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was either Table Clan or Fabi, and Lee Finley's trying to go up the inside of Table Clan at the moment. They're all getting their slide on at the back. Lee Finley and Will getting the ring, they're wringing the neck out there, and Manolo trying to capitalise on that. Unfortunately, he can't make the most of it, as they're all beginning to break away just slightly at the front from the medium runners behind. It is Benjamin to lead the first lap, then Bean in second, Luca in third, fourth Midnight. Kazooie finds himself in 5th position. They're all running in a bit of a train. Greeny comes into the pit lane, and could have been him, but I think they were too far back. Were Caden Forbes and Hadler to actually make contact with him, but he must have found damage somewhere along the circuit, and unfortunately that is him going to be coming to the pit lane. Caden Forbes as well, he got damage and all of that. He hit the outside wall on the grass, and he's already retired, so he's just not going to bother with this one, and that is his race done prematurely. You should never give up in Formula 1, my friend.
Especially around Belgium, because we do know there's a lot of accidents that happen in Belgium, so I think Caden Forbes did the wrong thing. If he was a lap down and he's not going to gain positions, fair enough. But lap 1, lap 2, maybe not. But I think he's starting his Christmas break early, I've got to say. And I think the timings have sorted itself out. We're not on lap 3, ladies and gentlemen. We're on lap 2. As interestingly enough, Table Clan and Fabi are going for a move around into No Name. Fabi very committed. He's going to go for the Sen like Carlos Sainz did in a few races this season, and he has done it. Amazing stuff from him. Fabi up into P13. Last week's podium sitter, not doing too bad at the moment, as we're looking at position changes actually. Fabi's dropped down 2, so he's trying to come back as well. But I'll say the biggest gainer it's got to be Petrox, up 5 places from where he started. World Rally also having a good start, up into 12th position. So both the Haas cars are trying to get the first point in F2. Reserve drivers can't score points, so it all rests on Petrox tonight for getting the points for Haas, which is a shame really that World Rally can't score points, but World Rally can score points for himself at the moment. Lee Finley is looking very, very good, heading past a few cars already, and he's trying to get past Table Clan up into P14. He's finding it a bit harder at the moment getting past some cars, but they are on different strategies at the moment. It is very, very hard with these medium tyres in the overcast conditions. I usually find that around Belgium, I've got to say, but the top 3 are not breaking away as much as I would have thought, which means that the grid is getting even closer at the moment as we head into DRS range, and we are at DRS range now on lap number 3.
Yeah, but there's a clear divide between the guys on the soft tyres and then the guys on the mediums. There's about 1 second between them, so you'll be looking at those for issues with overtaking. Otherwise, these guys are all in a DRS train. It's unlikely that we'll see too many overtakes down the straightaway.
In the back of Table Clan as well. He made contact with him, and I think he just went for a move on the inside and couldn't quite do it. That is a bit of a shame. That's dropped him back to almost where he started there as well. It looked like it was a very good move. Sorry to cut you there, Dan, but yeah, he's got quite a lot of work to do now. He's 2.6 seconds behind Haller, but let's jump back to the front as we've got Mitchie trying to look for a battle with Lamp Kazooie as well. Midnight's in with a picture as well. Tomato also trying to get back in there as well. Will down in 15th position as well, but don't forget he's going to be on fresher tyres, softer tyres at the end, and Tomato has got the first penalty of the race with a 3-second time penalty. It's great to see that we haven't got that many penalties yet, but I've seen a lot of track extending right now. I think a few people are getting warnings, So they got to be careful, because I think I know a few people on their last warnings now. If they get another warning, then they're on a penalty. Can Mishi get the move into the bus stop? No, he does not, but I know he's going to probably try and make the move in the next few corners right now. Benjamin is absolutely flying. He's saying the fastest lap of the race so far with a 1:40. I think it was a one. I can't remember what fastest lap it was. Let me just have a check. 1:45.6. I had a feeling it was somewhere along those lines. But anyway, I'm quite surprised not many people are making the moves yet. But I think it's probably due to those DRS trains. When you're stuck in a DRS train, unless the guy in front of you is not within DRS range, you just can't get past. But Kometa really needs to get the move done ASAP.
Absolutely, Petrox found a way past CC Brain down the straight there, so that is just the power that the DRS holds. Petrox easily able to get there on. Ballina picking up 3-second time penalty. It looks like it's beginning to see a little bit of a gap between the top 4 and Kazooie, because Lamp F1 really is beginning to reel in, and a little bit of a oversteering moment off the exit of the corner. Going to lose him some time to Kazooie up ahead, so they're all just running in this train, keeping DRS to each other, which unfortunately for the commentary side of things, it is not going to be too nice, with no overtakes really going to be occurring. But for them, for their sake of their race, they'll be happy to stick in this train if they're in a strong points-paying position. If you're outside the top 10, you're going to want a safety car or a crash, or just anything to happen up ahead, as more penalties beginning to come out. I believe Petrox just picked one up there for track extending at Stablo, so they're all beginning to pick up the warnings. Manolo as well getting a penalty. Look at Mishi's right onto the back of Lamp. 2.5 tenths is the gap to the Ferrari car up ahead. Can he make it into the bus stop chicane? He's too far back, and he's not going to try and make a ascent. It's only lap number 4. You know, you don't need to make a move this early into the Grand Prix.
Yes, the race is not over until the checkered flag falls, to be honest, and that is where I think we'll see a lot more people taking risks, just not right now at this moment in time. So Mishi just can't quite get it done yet. He's just waiting for the right moment, which is, I think, fair to say. He's using up quite a lot of his ERS though, so he's keen to make the pass, but he's just using too much. But Lamp, I think, is using way more, so I think he must be defending for his life at the moment. So when Lamp runs out of ERS, that's where Mishi could go for the attack. But there we go. Bean eventually gets the move on Benjamin there, heading into Lacom. Nice and easy move, I think, for Bean there, as Benjamin wasn't looking that comfortable with that, but he didn't have DRS. Kometa Bean did. He is very powerful around this track, as you can see, and Kometa Bean is leading the race so far. CC Brain getting a time penalty as well, which is very unfortunate to see, as I think a lot more people down near the back will probably benefit if they get no penalties as well. I think the only people not within DRS range inside the top 10 is Petrox as well, as he is looking to capitalise on Ballina. Just wait until a few laps time when the crossover point comes, where the mediums will be at the same delta as the soft tyres, so that may mean the medium tyres may try and get the moves done if the soft tyre people do not pit. And I have to say, Luca doing a very good job holding on to P3 over Midnight. Midnight is quite hard to defend from, to be honest. I do know from previous races with some other drivers fighting against Midnight, and Midnight's not doing too bad either. So, you know, Luca is very impressive, and I think he could be on course to getting his first podium for real if he keeps this up.
Yeah, of course, taken away from him in the Australian Grand Prix, the first race. Ballina coming into the pit lane early here, but his AlphaTauri teammate Benjamin is onto the back of Bean, and now the advantage shifts over to the AlphaTauri driver, because he will have that DRS down one of the longest straight, of course, the Kemmel straights, and you could just see them rising up Eau Rouge and through Radion they go. This is going to be the move for the lead for Benjamin. Of course, it won't be over until checkered flag falls, as you said, but here he is, Benjamin, with the DRS. He's going to tuck to the right hand side, and that is the move made, but is Bean going to let it go that easily? And there it is, Benjamin, he moves in front of him into the corner, and that is the lead of the Grand Prix. They're going to be shifting those two for the next couple of laps like it's a Pokemon card, but yeah, it is a good move for Benjamin, and Bean losing out. And Luca, if these guys start fighting, Luca can be brought into the battle, and he could be on course for a win. 3 guys at the top you would not expect to see, and I'm seeing in the chat at the moment, the black and white box at the next to the names does mean there is a penalty. X is trolling you, as you can see. Greeny's got a penalty, and he's got a little black and white box next to his name.
Yeah, so if they don't have a black and white box, then it means they've got no penalties under their name. Simple as that. It would be nice to see if they get any warnings, because we don't want to get into the race director all the time. That is something I think Cody should introduce, is find a way to know on the screen how many warnings they got as well. That could be interesting too. So Cody, if you're listening, please implement that. But I think it's going to be a ding-dong battle between Bean and Benjamin throughout the majority of this stint on the soft, because you can see Bean is closing up again, but Benjamin is having none of that. He's going for the undercut strat straight away, which I find powerful around this track quite a lot here, as he's the first to blink, as well as Midnight as well. Lamp F1 also goes into the pit lane. Mishi and Tomato go in as well. Quite a lot of drivers are going into the pit stops for the medium tyres, which will go through until the end of the race. Mediums do last quite a lot around this track, and the hards can last pretty much the whole race as well. So that is what Lee is on. He's the only driver on the hards after his spin earlier on, which was quite unfortunate. I think it was very, very unlucky with table plan earlier on. But meanwhile, we're on lap 7 at the moment. Kometa Breen really needs to get the fastest in lap he can in order to get ahead of Benjamin in the pit stops, because Benjamin has been the biggest, I think, improvement in this league so far since joining, getting points in every single race. I think pretty much mostly being in the top 4, 5, 6 in most of them. So he is improving day in, day out. That's why VRT has signed in. Meanwhile, Greeny and Mishi having a nice battle for 17th place. I know it's only for 17th place, but they're still battling at the end of the day. They're on similar strategies, whereas Greeny may have to pit again soon, whereas Mish does not. So Mishy's got to try and get the work done, but it's never easy for those two. So Benjamin has come out with some clear air, luckily, but behind he's got a lot of people chasing down with Midnight and Lamb pitting at exactly the same time. So Benjamin may have not got the best pit stops, but damn, Bean has got to respond right now, doesn't he? Same with Luca and Kazuri.
Yeah, I definitely think that they need to come into the pit lane here. They will have fresher tyres than the guys in front of them, which will benefit them later on into the Grand Prix. Bean is staying out, but Luca and Kazui coming into the pit lane. And if you want to know why Misha's so far behind the leading train, it's because he double stacked with Midnight. These two are like Perez and Ocon in the years 2017, 2018. Those guys were always at each other. They had a crash last week, which saw Mish way down the order, as well as Midnight, and yeah, now they've double stacked in the pit. A little bit of miscommunication. There's Benjamin coming through turn number 1 now. Where is Luca going to come out in comparison to him? He's going to be side by side on the exit, but it is going to be the position for Midnight as well. He finds a way past Benjamin, past Luca, and that is the power of the undercut. Bean might have stayed out just a little bit too long for this one.
Yeah, well, I think so as well. I think Benjamin's going to be comfortably ahead of Bean, but we'll have to wait and see, of course.
It's Midnight.
Here comes Midnight, going side by side into Lakecom. He is no tuck cookie, like I said, but I think Midnight's going to stay behind Benjamin at the moment. I've got to say, if Midnight keeps this up, he'll be a net P2 at this race. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Bean, who's the only soft runner to pit, I've got to say. But yeah, Midnight, there's been some races where it's been disappointing. Hang on a minute. I'm looking on my onboard right now. The ones that just pitted have made a very big mistake because it's raining for the very first time in F2 this season. What is going? You may not see it in yours, but it's definitely raining on my screen. So that has thrown the race. It's turned the race upside down. So if you're the likes of people who have not pitted yet, this is game on. That's probably what Bean is doing. If there was no rain forecast, that's probably why. But Bean's probably going in. I don't know what's happening. Bean's still ping. I thought he would have stayed out on the softs, but the softs are going to run out, so that's probably why he's coming in. My oh my, the race has turned on its head, Dan.
I don't think these guys would have known that it was going to be wet, so I don't think that they would make that mistake, and they would do that. I think it will remain dry enough for the slick tyres. We'll just have to see. But Beans come out of the pit lane. There's Benjamin in front of him, and he might actually be side by side with Midnight. Midnight is going to run up close to him, almost to Rouge. Who's going to be the one, the bravest? And there it is, Midnight moving ahead of Bean. That is the power of the undercut, as I said before. But what is going to happen here down the straightaway, because Midnight has got the DRS on Benjamin. It's going to be round number 2. Ding, ding, ding. Here we go. Can Midnight go for it? He's just going to have to stick behind him for the corner. What about through Laycom? Has he got a better run? Luca picking up a 3-second tyre penalty, and now it's all beginning to unfold for him. He's dropping a little bit further back from the top 3 here, as Benjamin with a big lock up through there, and Bean really just a big loser at all of this. He's now come out in a net P3. Of course, all the medium guys have to come into the pit lane behind Benjamin and crucially behind Midnight.
Yeah, indeed. Well, you can see, you may not be able to see the rain on your screen, I think due to the stream quality, unfortunately, but I definitely can see it on the screen. It's just very, very light. It's hardly any rain, to be honest, at the moment. You could just see it on the onboard, but you can't see it on top, basically on the track at the moment. That's how light the rain is at this stage. So yeah, I think it's going to be like, I'm trying to think which racer had something similar. I was commentating one race in another league, I'm not going to say. It was around Hungary. It started off raining, but it wasn't enough for the wet tyres. It stayed like that for the whole race. So we could see something similar here as well, which is probably going to be a first on F1 2020, I've got to say. I've never experienced it at the moment, but I think they've got to go on their judgment. The track is still dry, though. So yeah, it's definitely the right decision to go onto the mediums for now, because otherwise you're going to lose so much grip on those softs, and the people on the medium tyres are going to just parch you at the moment. And I think the ones on the mediums are going to hope that the rain does come a little bit later, and they don't want it to come. They don't want it to come until I think when they go to pit, because otherwise their mediums are going to absolutely die. So don't forget, you will have to pit at least once. If you don't pit at least once, you will get disqualified from the game, as Fabi is in 5th at the moment on track, having a good battle between Table Clan and also CC Brain. CC Brain is also back in this fight as well, which is great to see both of the Mercedes. Mercedes not doing too well in the Constructors' Championship, near the bottom. Not like we would have seen in real life. In real life, they were the Constructors' Champions. And in PSGL F2, they're near the bottom, just where Haas was in real life at this stage. But, you know, CC Brain is trying to score as many points as possible, and our favourite for this race at the moment, Will, is in 3rd place, and he's trying to chase down Roll Rally in the Haas in for 2nd place as well. So things are heating up here at the moment.
Yeah, Benjamin's just caught a little bit of traffic of Manolo, who is beginning to struggle on his slightly worn out medium tyres. He's going to have to try and make the move through Blanchimont. What can Benjamin do? He's looking up the inside through the corner, and Midnight could also be on to capitalise here, and they're going to go side by side. A little bit of contact between the pair of them. What can Midnight do? He's a bit boxed in here, so he can't make the send on Manolo, and if he can't get by, but he's going to swoop around the outside. He's got the inside line for the next part of the bus stop. What a move from Midnight there. Granted, it is on a driver that is on older tyres, as Manolo beginning to move out of the way just a little bit here. I think he is really struggling with those mediums, but he's still got a couple of laps left in them, so it's not over for him. But it looks like Will is going to be putting the pressure onto World Rally. Is now down the straightaway. It doesn't even look like the World Rally is going to fight this. Easiest move of PR1 Will's life. He now moves into P2 of the Grand Prix, and Fabi is well behind, so they're all at the end of their stint. They're all beginning to make moves up and down the order, so it is really great to see. Belgium notorious for giving good overtakes, and there it is. Midnight as well's found a way past Benjamin. I missed that completely.
So did I. There was so much battling happening in this race so far that it's really, really hard to keep up at the moment. Bean is also in the back of this as well. So is Luca, so is Kazui, so is Tomato. Literally, if any one of those drivers make a mistake, the guys at the back can capitalise on this as well. Everybody around is so close. Even Manolo, who is in 14th place on a different strategy, is on the back of this train, hoping that the rain is going to come down when they pit, so he can go onto the intermediate tyres and be on a similar strategy to those who have pitted for the mediums the last time about. So I wish the best of luck for Manolo. Banana, unfortunately, is not within DRS range of Manolo, so he can't get the move done at the moment. But meanwhile, Bean is trying to make a move past Benjamin at the moment, heading towards just past Blanchimont. Fabian, World Rally also having about. No, they're not. World Rally's going into the pit lane for his stop. A bit earlier than I thought, so he might have picked up damage. I'm not sure. So I'm just keeping an eye on the battle between Bean and Benjamin as we speak. Whilst I keep an eye on World Rally. So much to focus on. So did he get damage? Nope, he's going onto the softs early then, going for the undercut then. I'm just looking at how long the softs last. I think they last about, let me have a look how long the tyres last. I think it's around about 9 laps, so it's a bit of a gamble to do. I thought they would have pit around lap 13, 14, but you never know. Meanwhile, CC Brain has just gone past for the move on table plan. Kometa, Bean and Benjamin are going for a move. Midnight actually got past Benjamin earlier on as well, but Benjamin wants to get the move done back, but Benjamin can't, is stuck in the middle of that, and that's going to be allowing Bean and Luca to find more time. Bean especially as well, he's in a net P3 at the moment, not quite where he wants to be at this stage, but there's still a long way of this race to go. We're pretty much in the halfway stages at the moment.
Yep, so the rain looking like it is just kind of staying consistent at what it is. I can still see a little bit of the sun peeking through the clouds at certain points of the circuit, but I don't think we're going to see intermediate running at all. If not, we're probably only going to see it for a couple of laps. So it might be worth these medium guys coming into the pit lane because they're going to get a puncture, and you know, it is better to play it safe and make a second stop. But of course we don't know. We still have 10 laps in this race. World Rally coming in a little bit early, I would have thought, but maybe he was going for the undercut and he just thought that the rain would mean a little bit less degradation on the tyres. PR1 Will has the same thinking, as does Fabi, as does CC Brain. So all these guys coming into the pit lane. Table Clan as well. We'll see where they come out in relation to World Rally, who's getting a little bit caught up behind Mish, and he's almost going to dive it into the bus stop chicane, but yeah, he hasn't just gone through there. So Mish getting a little bit of a slide coming off the exit. There is World Rally coming down the straightaway. All these guys are beginning to just pull out of the pit lane. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out in regards to PR1 Will, who he was fighting with previously in the race. There's Will, there's World Rally, they're side by side on exit, but it is World Rally making that undercut work, and you'd have to think for Petrox, who has stayed out an extra lap, as has Hadler, that they're going to have issues in this race with all these guys getting past them. I think Benjamin is going to try and make a send on Midnight, but he just can't find a way through. Midnight is defending really, really nicely here against Benjamin, and Bean as well, just watching from behind. Luca still hanging on in there despite the fact that he has a penalty that will not benefit him later on, especially if they remain as close as they have done. But brilliant racing out on circuit today.
I've got to say, these guys, please stop, because there's too much battles to focus on, but only joking. You guys are doing amazing out there on the circuit. It's definitely been a very, very good race so far. It's definitely thrown a spanner in the works with a threat of rain, which is still on the track, but yeah, I think it's pretty much going to stay like this. But I do notice a bit more on the camera lens, so it is getting quite... well, not bad, but still it's getting a bit heavier at the moment, but the track is still dry, so they're still going to be on those mediums for quite a bit, actually, if they choose to put onto the intermediate tyres. We always got a 3-second time penalty. That's not what you want for the one who's trying to make the alternate strategy work. Down in 14th position, Will's going to go for the move past Mish now, heading in towards Blanchimont, heading in towards the bus stop chicane. The racing points are definitely on fire in terms of the battles of the stream, I've got to say, as you can see. Will also on the back of Manolo, as well as we got
World Rally made a mistake.
He went off a little bit. Luckily, no damage or no spin. I think he just lost a bit of time there to the likes of Will there too. As we got a great battle between World Rally and Mish as well, and I think we could see a battle between Benjamin, Midnight, and Kometa Bean as well. Let's see if they can get the job done. Look at Kometa Bean. I think he could get the send on Benjamin now. I think he's a little bit too further back, but you never know. They're all trying to break the slipstream at the moment. They can't get back. Let's watch back the battle between Will and Lamb. Will breezes past, so does World Rally as well on the fresher tyres. They are into P9 and P10 respectively. Mish is still on the back of Lamb. This is getting very, very interesting for the alternate strategy runners. The ones, Lamb and Mish, obviously pitted the same time as Midnight and Benjamin, but they couldn't get near the front. But they're still having a really nice battle for the points, and they're going to hope the rain does not go any heavier, because they're doing not too bad on the medium tyres. Fabi's on the back of this as well. Fabi is potentially not going to be getting a podium here tonight, but he's having a bit of fun. Mish is going to go for the send on Lamp F1, heading past, I can't remember what corner, into Stablo 1. I think he gets the better run. Yes, he does. Mish, bravo, take a bow there. There's not many places where you can make a move, but he does the move there right then and there. So well done to Mish then. He's chasing down Royal Rally for the top 10, and we do have a yellow flag, which is one of the Red Bull, which is Manolo. He's now down into last place right now on the softs. He's spinning, I think it looks like Puon by the looks of things. Actually, no, it's not Puon. It's, I can't remember which corner anyway, but he can have
Puon.
It is Puon.
Yeah.
Amazing track. But anyway, we got Petrox into the pit lane, as I think he's the last one of the alternate strategy runners to pit. So where is he going to come out in relation to the ones who have just pitted? We got Lamp and Table Clan, who we're having a battle with. So we're going to watch Table Clan as well. And I think, by the looks of things, I'm just trying to see where they come out. It's quite close, actually, between Petrox and Royal Rally together. I think Petrox got ahead of Royal Rally as well. So good job from there, pretty much for him. But Well, Ray needs to get a move on as well as Mitch as well. Mitch has dropped that, but here comes Fabi as well, going side by side. Lamb's on the back of that as well. Fabi got ahead of Mish once again. I think Lamb's just sitting there very pretty at the moment. Unfortunately, we do have our second retirement. Manolo is out of this race, sadly. One unfortunate end to his PSGL F2 season in 2020. Hopefully he'll have a much better season when we go to France on, I believe it's I'm trying to remember the date. I think it's the 11th of January or the 10th. I can't remember, but that's when we are back for some PSGL F2 action around France. Oh, look at the Alfa Romeo table climb as he tries to get a move the same place as what Mish did earlier on into just past Stablo 1. So there we go. Well done to table climb up into P13. This has been a very, very good race so far. I think that it's been a good race last season, actually, and it was also a very good race this season. These drivers are failing to disappoint today.
Yeah, the wet just throwing up a little bit of chaos for some of these guys, and some of them are really struggling. Lamp F1 way down the order. PR1 Will finding the move on Ballina, and it looks like Petrox is trying to get through on there as well, but he just can't do it. As looking at the fight for the lead, they have remained in this formation for a little while. I do think that they are saving up some of their CRS to go for really go full send towards the end of the Grand Prix. It's not over a little bit down the order because Kazooie is feeling the pressure from Tomato, who's also going to get the DRS on Lucas. So these guys could have a really nice fight. What is going to happen at the front of the order? I don't think that they're close enough to make any moves. This DRS train really just helping them. There's Will and Ballina, easy move for Will to get past Ballina. I'd expect Petrox just to be a little bit nicer to Ballina just because they're part of the same esports team, they're part of VRT. So yeah, it's all getting a little bit tense here. On lap number 16, Midnight is leading. He hasn't won a race this season, and I don't believe he got one last season, so he's been quite a while since he has won a race in PSGL. He definitely hasn't won it on the 2020 game, and what a race to do it at the Belgian Grand Prix early on in the season. This could give him all the confidence in the world. He's only, I think, 14 years old now, so he's he's got a big future, bright future in the world of F1 esports in the future soon. Of course, I've said future too many times, and I do apologise for that one.
Don't worry. And Midnight didn't win in season 25. So I'm trying to find when was his last win. And it's been a while, actually. It's been a few seasons since he's won, if not at all. So it's going to be a long streak without a win. And here goes Bean. I'm actually going on board, which is great to see. Bean is trying to come back on Benjamin. I've got to say, Benjamin and Bean were very, very close in qualifying. As you can see, Benjamin trying to weave down. He doesn't want Bean to have any slipstream whatsoever. This is going to allow Luca to come back into the mix. Even though Luca does have a time penalty, he wants to get this battle on track. We've got Kazooie also having a good start. Kazooie could jump Luca in the race if he keeps up his no penalty streak, which at the moment Kazooie's doing well, and that's going to help Renault in the constructors because when Lee is not scoring points, it's great to see that his teammate Kazooie is, as we've got a battle raging on between Bean and Benjamin once again as they head towards Lecom. Midnight, I think, just holds on to the lead of this Grand Prix. This race win battle is far from over. Midnight wants this win so bad as Greeny is out of the race. He unfortunately retired from the pit lane. I'm surprised we haven't seen many spins in our Rouge, to be honest, tonight. I thought we were going to get it, as it's quite typical in PSGL. We've seen that last season in F2, but we haven't seen it at all in the race so far. It may have gone unnoticed, we don't know, but as they all make it through, they're just so, apart from the likes of Lee and CC Brain, everyone else is just so close together that anyone could potentially win this thing at the moment. As you can see the yellow flag in sector 3, that is just the AI of Greeny retiring. That's just got Mercedes season going from bad to worse, which is unfortunate. Don't forget, CC Brain was second in the driver standings last season in F2. He's absolutely nowhere this season in the race, so hopefully he can have a much better race in F2 pretty much next year in 2021. Luca could potentially go for the move. We've got Fabian Balliner also exchanging position as well. There's just so much to fight for in the championship at the moment. And here we go. Let's watch the battle between Bean and Benjamin. Bean, I think, just about gets the edge now. I just caught the end of that. Bean is now up into second place. Can he get the move past Midnight? This is going to be the crucial factor as well. Midnight and Bean both were in F1 either last season or the season before. Midnight 2 seasons ago, Bean a season ago. So they really want to show these guys what they are made of. And Midnight definitely is holding on for dear life at this stage. Benjamin wants that basically P2 back, but he's a bit too further back to do it. So is Luca. Kazooie was almost on the back of Luca. Tomato's nearest rival is, you guessed it, P1, his teammate Will in 7th on the alternate strategy, but the alternate strategy is definitely not helping with the DRS train and the rain. So I think it looks like Will is going to stay in 7th. Let's look at the penalties actually. Will's on 3 seconds, so Will's going to benefit from, I think, getting ahead of Tomato and Petros, but I think Roll Valley could be ahead of him. I'm not entirely sure. I can't do maths, excuse me. And Luca gets a time penalty, so he now is up into 6 seconds. So I think a lot more people are going to jump him, sadly, which is a bit of a shame. So unfortunately, I think commentator's curse strikes again. Luca will not get his podium in Belgium. I think I should stop saying stuff about Luca and podium. I won't see anything at all about him at this stage, as we've got a yellow flag. That's Tomato that's gone off just past Paul Frere there. And I don't know what happened there, actually. I don't think there's any damage, but that is, I think, the chance of some good points finishes for Tomato. Far from over. He's going to hope for a safety car, but I'm surprised there hasn't been a safety car, to be honest. There was quite a lot last season. We haven't had any, to be honest, which is, I think, a credit to the drivers for driving so well here tonight.
Absolutely, and 2 drivers have been driving really well. The guys at the front of the pack at the moment, because Midnight is beginning to feel the pressure from Commenter Bean. You can see how they've saved up a little bit of ERS that they're probably going to disperse of down the Kemmel straightaway. You can see the confidence that Bean has against Midnight. Midnight beginning to struggle here. The DRS is open for Bean, and this is the move for the lead of the Grand Prix. Is Midnight going to try and fight this back? He moved back in line with Bean, but he just can't get the speed. That is the power of the DRS. And Kazooie, oh my goodness me, is he going to send it around the outside, and he's found a way through on Luca. They're side by side now, coming out of the chicane, and that is the move for Kazooie. That has to be move of the race for me. Oh my goodness me, what an overtake from the young German. He moves up into P4 without a penalty to his name. A chance of a podium is still in sight for the Renault driver, and what an overtake that was.
Wow, Kazooie, take a bow. You're delivering some really good points for your team right now, and they could probably potentially still be in the lead of this championship if he keeps this up, which I think will be very, very good for Kazooie right now. I think he'll be very, very proud, even though Lee's down in last place, but it's great to see his teammate doing very, very well as well. Don't forget, Kazooie was moved up from F4 last season. He was the F4 champion. We weren't expecting to do well from the dot, but he's definitely proved us wrong throughout the whole season so far. There's been a few races where he got caught up in incidents, but this race he's been doing absolutely fantastic, trying to fend off the likes of Luca, but he's got Will on his tail at the moment, who is no tough cookie at the moment. But due to Kazooie getting no penalties, he's probably going to stay there, which is very, very happy for him. But Kazooie, he's still got to try and gain some more positions, and Written is still on the cards for MMT Kazooie. He's got Benjamin, Midnight and Cometa Bean still fighting, and he could just sit pretty at the moment, and he may think, oh, if these guys keep battling, and if they may get up into a little bit of a squabble, I could have shot of a victory or even a podium. Tomato is now out of the race. That makes it the 4th retirement. We've got Mish and Hadler having a bit of a fight. Hadler had to let Mish go, and Mish is up into 12th position. But let's just watch the battle. But we've got a yellow flag, and that is, I think, that's Lee. Oh no, it's not Lee, it's Tomato who binned it. It's Lee just gone past him. So, yeah, meanwhile, we also got Table Clan and Banner having another scrap as well. Banner also is well on the back of this as well. I think these are the points of the race where all of these drivers are taking so many risks. Tomato took a lot of risks there, and that is what forced his retirement, which was very unfortunate for him. But, you know, they can't gamble too much, but you want to gain as many positions as you can to score as many points in the championship. Don't forget, with the title contender, well, the top person on the top of the stand is out of the running at the moment. This could be a huge chance for many people that are closing in on him to score some great points today.
Yeah, well, fortune favours the brave, and all these guys have put it on the line, making these risky moves to try and claw many points that they had that are on offer, of course, in the championship as well. In comparison to Lee, who's won the first 2 races, definitely not going to be in contention for this one anymore. I think it's safe to say that one, unless Codemasters disconnect everyone and then Lee wins the Grand Prix or something ridiculous like that one. But at the beginning of lap 21, this is when these guys are really going to start throwing the kitchen sink at each other, because it is now the gap 6/10 between Bean and Midnight. That is probably a little bit more than Midnight would have hoped for at this point in time, and Benjamin watching from behind as well. Bean really looking like he's taking control in this Grand Prix. Midnight's having to use his ERS before the straight even comes. With this DRS, he has to use it before Eau Rouge, and you can just see how he's beginning to struggle with these wet conditions that are still present, and these guys haven't had the opportunity to go onto the intermediate tyres. I believe Lee Finley's into the pit lane for a set of soft tyres to go on to for a fastest lap here. Yeah.
Yeah, he has nothing to fight for really. So, well, why not go for the fastest lap and try and steal points from people that want to go fastest lap inside the top 10, the likes of Will, the likes of Royal Rally, because if you're outside the top 10, you don't get any points, but it will help Lee in the championship because the points won't close as much. Even though Lee is down in 16th, you'll still be in the championship after Belgium due to the ridiculous gap that he's got at the moment. So this race is not going to cost him that much at the moment, because the points for a win is 15 points. And at the moment, it looks like it's going to go to Bean unless Midnight can close in on the final laps. But I have to say, Bean's ERS management is absolutely fantastic at the moment. Because Midnight is on less ERS, but because Bean is managing when he needs to, because he can only use it to defend. That is what's helping him win at the moment. Benjamin can still be in this as well. He's on the same, I think, ERS as the top 2 are at this moment in time. I don't think Kazooie could be on shot for a podium, but he could still be on a really good P4 position at this moment in time. And it looks like Table Clan and Mish could gain positions off people due to penalties, which I think they'll be very happy with. Royal Rally could be on course, be getting its first point on debut, which will be great to see as well. Not many people have done that in PSGL FC. Benjamin has done it, but Royal Rally could potentially be another person to add to the list as we're on the final lap of this Belgian Grand Prix, which has definitely been a cracker so far. If you want some more Belgium action, we've got F5 and F6 on at 8 on right now at the moment. If you want to go and check that out, make sure you check it out at the end of the stream. Not now. There's still about pretty much almost most of this lap to go. They just passed Lecom at this moment in time. I think Midnight just got to pull a risk and a half to get past Cometa being in the lead, but Bean hasn't won for a long time either in PSGL, so whatever happens, it's either going to be a first win for Benjamin or it's going to be a first win in a long time for Cometa Bean and Midnight, which I think whoever wins tonight, they definitely deserve it after the race. They had absolutely fantastic from all three of them, as they've been the class of the field today at this moment in time. So let's just wait to see what Midnight and Benjamin do in these final couple of sectors as they're about to start sector 3. This is crunch time for all three drivers. Kazooie can just see them in shot as well, so Kazooie may still be in this, but it is probably going to be a miracle for him right now as Midnight is using his overtake. I don't think he's going to get the edge on Bean. Bean is just running away with it right now. He doesn't even need to use his overtake because he knows that he's going to be ahead towards the bus stop chicane. Bean and Benjamin and Midnight have been fighting this whole race long. The rain didn't affect them too much. Bean comes across the line and takes the win. The second different race winner of the season in PSGL F2. Midnight comes across the line with a well-deserved P2. Benjamin in third, Kazooie in fourth, and due to penalties, Will manage to get into P5, so remains in the top six for pretty much the whole of the season so far, which is consistency for him. Fabi just about gets table plan for P7, as I think we're just waiting for one driver to come across the line. Now will be Lee, as he will see. Can we see who's going to get the fast lap? At the moment, it belongs to Mish with a 1:44.0. We'll have to wait and see if Lee could get it. Could he be the first one to get the fastest lap? No, it was a 1:45.2. So Mitch gets the fastest lap.
Yep, and that's the end of the Grand Prix then. I was thinking for that entire last lap, no, he's not going to get it. I think Bean has this one in the bag. The only thing that really would have changed it was a penalty, but that did not happen. So Bean stands atop the podium, his first race of this season, and I bet he'd be really pleased about that one. Midnight in second position. Still a good position compared to where he was last race. He completely nowhere last race. And then Benjamin, another strong performance from him. He is finishing the points every race so far, and he's definitely been the most impressive driver this season. I wouldn't put anything off of him picking up a win later on in the season at a track that he might enjoy out of anything. Of course, this was his home Grand Prix as well, as I'm just seeing by the flags. I've completely forgotten about that one. He is Belgian. So that is good to see that he has taken a podium at his home circuit here, and very nice to see.
Yeah, so let's go through your race results. So Bean in first, Midnight in second, Benjamin in third. And I've just got to say, I looked at the PSGL F1 time from last season. Benjamin's only gone and beaten that by a 10th, which is absolutely insane. So fair play to Benjamin. It was a 1:40.5 for Onyx last season. But anyway, Kazooie in fourth, Will in fifth, Lucas sixth, Fabi seventh, Table Clan eighth, Petrox in ninth, and Mish in 10th. Then we got Hadler, Rolled Rally, Banana, CC Brain, Lamp, and Flea being the last of your finishers. And your non-finished stars, Tomato, Greeny, Manolo, and Caden Forbes. There's a lot of drivers of the day. I've got to say, any one of the top three is driver of the day for me. They all put off impressive performances. Benjamin with his impressive qualifying, which in a lap which I was not expecting him to pull out of the bag. He's been improving all season long. Being with his first win in F2 after dropping down from F1 is going to give a confidence boost for him. And Midnight going back to form after a dismal start in this F2 season. You know, I think it's going to be very hard choosing a driver of the day, I think.
I know my driver of the day, I'm already giving it to Benjamin at this point. You know, he was just really impressive today, and he's keeping that consistency up, and hopefully he can have that alive towards the end of the season. I'm trying to think who it might remind me of from last season. I think Faz didn't pick up a win, but he was always in and about the points until the end of the season, where he kind of began to drop off. So I think he is definitely kind of similar to that caliber. Of course, no line along this time. So yeah, really nice performance from Benjamin. He's my driver of the day.
Yeah, it's very, very tough, but I will have to give it to him as well. You know, he was that consistent in qualifying as well. It was a shame that he didn't manage to get the win today, but there's many wins to come in the future as well. I think we're just waiting for the drivers to come into the interview room. So if any of the drivers are watching and wants to do that, join the interview room, please feel free. And I've got to say, we still had some good viewers on the stream tonight, despite the fact that the Challenger Series is going on at the same time. So thank you guys for deciding to watch PSGL F2 as well. It's been great to see, and we have reached 900 subscribers as well. I know it was ages ago, but thank you for all support. And I know Connor will not like to see that there's quite a few people in PSGL that are watching these streams but not subscribed. So if you see the button that is red, make sure it's not red. Click the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you know when next to see a stream from us. So hopefully we can get these drivers in. I think I'm probably need to say so. Interviews for podium. But we are going to be in for a little bit of a break for PSGL for a while. It'll give a chance for the drivers to put their feet up, as well as us commentators as well to put our feet up, because we've been both being very, very busy at the moment. So, I think the first few races have been absolutely insane, I've got to say. So well done to all drivers, and this race marks the first different winner of the season.
Sorry, I couldn't quite catch the end. There was a little bit of lag there.
This race has marked the first different race of this winner of the season, and these 3 races have been absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, of course. We had a little bit of rain, but not enough for the intermediate tyres, so we haven't had this all of this. So yeah, we haven't really had a proper intermediate or maybe we can see that later on in the season. But I always think dry racing makes for better races.
We have got someone in the interview box, just in case we don't get any of the podium interviews. I do believe Benjamin wants to come in as well. But we'll get Will whilst we wait there as well. Unfortunately, Will did not get the win, so I think that's probably my fault, because I've been jinxing him way too much. But still, Will manages to make the alternate strategy. Not work too bad and pick up hardly any penalties, and that helped him get 5th place today. So let's bringing it in. Will, another fantastic performance from you today. You managed to get 5th place out of all of that, doing the medium to soft strat. Was it a difficult race for you?
Yeah, I'd say so. I absolutely ruined qualifying because my TV was off into standby as I went into a corner, and I invalidated because of it. So ended up starting behind Lee, who had a quali ban, which was a bit embarrassing, but then sort of held off from using my ERS at the start. And then Lee spun, which helped me out quite a bit in the championship. Then just started to pick the drivers off one by one. Got to the front of the medium tyre runners and went for a quite early undercut on pet trucks, which worked just at the right time. Then caught up to the medium runners, but my softs were just starting to go off at that point. And then just tried to avoid getting warnings and penalties. But yeah, not a bad race for me, I'd say.
Yeah, I can see your tyres were going at the end because you're dropping back a bit from the drive as well. You did pick quite early, than I would have thought, but I think due to the rain that was coming down, probably it was the best decision for you as well. But basically, also, what made you decide to go early onto those soft tyres? Did you think that the rain was going to come potentially a lot harder, or?
Well, on the weather report across both of the sessions, it didn't say there was going to be any rain at all. So we weren't actually expecting anything. And then we got I got a message from Jeff on the formation lap saying, "Oh, we're expecting rain in about 10 to 15 minutes." So it started to fall, and then it wasn't looking like it was getting any heavier anytime soon. So we just thought, oh, if we go on the softs now, we'll get a big undercut. And luckily, pet trucks didn't pit with us, so we gained quite a lot of time. And then I was just saving my ERS to stay ahead of him. And then eventually, tyres did drop off at the end. I think my rears were on about 70 at the end. But yeah, I think pitting early did help. If it was a fully dry race and it wasn't raining at all, I would have probably liked to pit a bit later, but can't really complain.
Yes, indeed. Now, that does mean, like you said, it close up to Lee in the championship as well. I think we could see a good battle between you and Lee in the championship if you keep that consistency up. Do you think France is a good track for you when we come back after Christmas? Do you think you could challenge the top guys, potentially maybe get onto the podium? Because the podium is definitely in sight after your impressive performances this season from lower down the grid.
Well, to be honest, I don't remember actually driving the track on this game. I might have done like 1 or 2 laps, but I don't know what my pace is going to be like. I'm sort of going into these races pretty blind, to be honest. So it has been quite a good track for me in the past, so I don't think there's any reason why it shouldn't be a good track for me on this game, so it should be all right. I should maybe start outside the top 10 again for the fourth race in a row this season, and then hopefully try and make the reverse strategy work again.
Yeah, I think it's your thing, to be honest. I would call you the alternate strategy merchant. I think I'm going to stay it that way, I think. Alternate strategy OP for you, I think. So, yeah, well done on your position, P5, and hopefully we will see you even higher, maybe next week. And unfortunately, Bean cannot join us in the interview box. His mic, unfortunately, does not work, which is a bit of a shame. I don't think we're going to get Midnight in either. So we're going to get in our pole sitter and third place man, Benjamin, in to the box. And first of all, before we talk about the race, Benjamin, talk about your qualifying. Where on earth did that lap come from? Because that was amazing.
Yeah, I practiced quite a lot. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, I practiced, I think 4 hours with my teammate, and we were well prepared, and Belgium is one of my best tracks. I really enjoy driving.
I could definitely tell from the way you were committing on the track as well. So talk about the race as a whole in general, because you were having a very good soft stint, defending off the likes of Midnight and Bean as well. But you seem to drop a little bit in the medium stint as well. What did you want to get that win today, or were you just focusing on being consistent and trying to get as many points as you can?
Well, I wanted to win, but I think lap 17 I got a lot of wheel spin from the exit of the last corner, and then I almost spun out and just kept the car at least, and that dropped me back to P3, and that's kind of the position you don't want to be in. But then I thought, yeah, podium is good. I just tried to keep it clean.
Yeah, which you kept it very well. No penalties as well. Did you get any warnings at all, or was it just
Yeah,
you did. Okay.
two warnings from lap 13, I think. So I was being a little bit cautious, and with the rain, yeah, tricky and very.
Yeah, so you're very close in getting a penalty, but thank goodness you kept it free in terms of the penalty front as well. Will was just telling me that there was no threat of rain on your weather report in qualifying. Did that shock you a bit when you saw raindrops on your onboard shot? Benjamin?
Jeff didn't tell me when the rain was coming, so I didn't know it was gonna rain.
Yeah, so some people it did. It told them on their Jeffs on the race, but not in qualifying. But some people didn't now tell at all like you. So what change in your mindset did you have to think about with the rain? Because did you think it was going to get even heavier, or do you think it was going to stay as it is? It must have been really, really hard to stay on top of that whilst trying to battle for the win at the same time.
Yeah, so the weather report was dry, so it must have been good enough for slicks. Otherwise, the game wouldn't say it's dry.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to be a stop for Inters.
So that's probably why then. And with that podium position under your belt, basically that puts you probably closing up to Will and the championship. We're having a nice battle, I think, between the top three. Can you see you're going to try and close up to Will, or you're going to concentrate on your own back? I'm liking this battle unfold really between you and him. And do you think you could beat him in more races this season?
Yeah, we're definitely going to battle quite a lot, I think. I just try to keep scoring points consistently, and then I'll be happy. Because, it's obviously first season.
We'll be at France on the 11th of January. Is that a track that you're going to be confident going into, or are you going to do the same as you did in Belgium and practice a lot more? I guess you're going to practice a lot more anyway, due to the fact that you want that elusive victory.
Yeah, I don't really enjoy France, but we're going to practice with my teammate, and then we'll get on top of it.
Brilliant. Dan, do you have any questions?
I'm not too sure if it's been asked or not, but just with a podium like this, and do you think that you're going to have any stronger results later on in the season? And is that win going to come eventually? And out of all the tracks that are kind of available next, which one do you think is most likely to be your first win?
Well, I don't know really. I think Japan is a really good track for me, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I just try to keep scoring points. This season, trying to keep consistently in the points.
Brilliant. Well, best of luck for the rest of the season then, and that's the only question I have.
Brilliant. Thank you, Dan. So well done, Benjamin, for your podium, as well as well done to our other podium sitters as well. Midnight for taking second place as well, scoring great points for Racing Point, and also well done to our race winner, Bean, as well. And I think a lot of people were happy in the chat to see Bean win as well. So a very popular winner there. So that is it then. It's the last race of 2020 for PSGL F2, but it's not the last race in 2020 for PSGL Ad Talks. We still got 2 more tiers to go. We got the F5 tier that's been streamed live on the PSGL channel. So if you do want to check that out, it's on the PlayStation GL channel, well, it's Xbox GL channel as well. But check that out. It's live now. I think they're just about to start the race as well. Don't forget, F1 is not on tonight due to the Challenger Series. That is back on the 4th of January, and they'll be doing their Belgian race next year. And after seeing what happened tonight in Belgium, I'm sure you guys will be with a real treat with Austin and Aaron taking you through that one next year there. So that has been it then. We will see you next year actually in 2021 as we carry on the PSGL F2 season. Thanks again to my co-commentator Dan, as always, for being in the box with me.
Yeah, it was brilliant to come here every week, and hopefully we can do it in the new year a lot better than we've been doing so.
Yeah, definitely. And we will see you next year in 2021 for the French Grand Prix. Have a good Christmas. Have a great New Year. Celebrate well with your family, and stay safe in the whole COVID situation. Don't forget to subscribe to the PSGL channel and try and help us get to that elusive 1,000 subscribers. I hope we get that soon. But anyway, see you soon. Have a good evening, and see you next year. Bye-bye.